Hello, we are live. My name is Dr. Jordan Harris, LMFTS, LPCS, licensed professional counselor and supervisor, licensed marriage and family therapist. And what I do is I help clinicians get unstuck. There are two big ways that clinicians get stuck with clients. One is that they have clients who are really stuck in really shallow sort of content, right? And we know that if this person could go a little deeper, they can have a really profound change. So one of the ways how people get unstuck, therapists get unstuck, is helping them to guide their clients into going deeper. Another way is that sometimes clients just aren't motivated to do the thing that they need to do in order to make their lives better. And I help therapists figure out where is this client in terms of their motivation, and then um, how do I help them take the next step forward. And all of this really is in the service of you all becoming better clinicians, you helping more people. I think is why we got into this job. Today, I'm going to be using a tape from Carl Rogers to tease apart these two ideas. How do we take clients from shallow to deep? And how do we help clients who are unmotivated become more motivated? Because Carl Rogers is a master of joining with clients and also keeping them motivated. So, without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and let's see how Carl Rogers works in this tape. This is him working with a single mom. Up to this point, the mom has been really worried about how do I talk to my daughter about sex? If I do, will it cause a problem between me and my daughter? And Carl Rogers has just persuaded her, motivated her to change her focus from external to internal, right? What happens inside of me that I feel so guilty when it comes to this part of my life?
Right. All right. Now I hear what you're saying. Then all right, then
But
I
it's
want to
damn
work
tough.
on I want to work on accepting me then. I want to work on feeling all right about it. But that makes sense. That'll come natural and then I won't have to worry about Pammy. But when things do seem so wrong for me and I have an impulse to do them, how can I accept that?
What you'd like to do is to feel more accepting toward yourself when you do things that you feel are wrong. Is that right?
Right. And I
Sounds
feel
like
like I feel
a
like
tough
you're
assignment.
yeah, I feel like you're going to say, now why do you think they're wrong? And I have mixed feelings there too.
Mhm.
Through therapy, I'll say, now look, I know this is natural. Women feel it. Sure, we don't talk about it a lot socially, but all women feel it and it's very natural. I've had sex for the last 11 years. I'm, of course, going to want it, but I still think it's wrong unless you're really, truly in love with a man. And my body doesn't seem to agree. And so I don't know how to accept it.
Sounds like a triangle to me, doesn't it? You feel that I or therapists in general or other people say, it's all right, it's natural enough, go
Right.
ahead. Um, and I guess you feel your body sort of lines up on that side of the picture. But something in you says, but I don't like it that way, not unless it's really right.
Right. But I have a hopeless feeling. I mean, these are all the things I sort of feel myself. And I feel, okay, now what?
Mm-hmm. Did it feel?
So this is interesting, right? She's sort of taken the silence. This is what researchers would call a reflective silence, where she's being silent in the process of actually really deeply reflecting on herself and her values. And usually with reflective silences, it's best to just shut up, let the person think. Um, some other silences, like an emotional silence or a feeling silence, I think you want to actually give more support because the person is being silent because they feel sort of emotional and vulnerable. This is a different type of silence. This is a reflective silence. So Roger's just letting her think. And then her voice lowers. Oh, I don't know if you caught that, but her voice lowers. And that tells me something important is happening for this client. Let's watch that again.
But I don't like it that way, not unless it's really right.
Right. But I have a hopeless feeling. I mean, these are all the things I sort of feel myself, and I feel, okay, now what?
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen to her voice before this.
Last 11 years, I'm, of course, going to want it, but I still think it's wrong unless you're really, truly in love with a man. And my body doesn't seem to agree.
Her voice is a little louder, a little faster, a little high pitched.
But I have a hopeless feeling. I mean, these are all the things I sort of feel myself, and I feel, okay, now what?
Mm-hmm.
She's sort of softened a little bit. I'm sure someone who was like a musician could really tell you the nuances. Maybe it's her timbre or her volume. I'm not that. I have no musical sense whatsoever, but you can sort of see that you can hear that it's sort of softened.
I feel this is the conflict, and it's just insoluble, and therefore it's hopeless. And here you look to me, and I don't seem to give you any help. And
Right. I really know you can't answer for me, and I have to figure it out myself. But I want you to guide me, or show me where to start, or so it won't look so hopeless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know I can keep living with this conflict, and I know eventually things would work out. But I like feeling more comfortable with the way I live.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is really important, right? Because sometimes when clients are sort of being more shallow and not going really deep into whatever it is that they're struggling with, they continue to put it on you to change their sort of um, situation. And she's taking a lot of ownership. Like, I know ultimately I have to figure this out, and I know that I would. But man, if you could help me, that'd be really nice. So it's sort of a bid for Roger to be more active. Most of what he's doing is he's reflecting back to her, which also means he's not really adding in any new content, right? He's not adding in any new directions for them to go. She's essentially saying, "Hey, can you help me here?" So in terms of motivation, she's actually doing two things. She is saying, "Your way of working with me, of being so hands off, I don't like that." So she's saying no to that, right? Um, but she's also saying yes to let's work together. Can you engage a little bit more with me so we can work together to answer this problem that I don't know how to resolve?
And I'm not.
One thing I might ask, what is it you wish I would say to you?
I wish you would say to me to be honest and take the risk that Pammy's going to accept me. And I also have a feeling if I could really risk it with Pammy, of all people, that I'd be able to see here's this little kid that can accept me. And I'm really not that bad. If she really knows what a demon I am and still loves me and accepts me, it seems like it would help me to accept me more. Like it's really not that bad.
Mm.
I want you to say, to go ahead and be honest.
So she's just let loose a huge thing, right? I don't think she's fully made the shift, but she's like in the middle of the shift from being relatively shallow to being relatively deep, right? Because she just sort of gave her deepest view of herself. I sort of see myself as this demon who's doing this who's like bad. And if I could really be seen and accepted here, then maybe I wouldn't have to feel like I'm such a demon anymore. She's still talking about it in terms of her daughter, and maybe that's how she gets it. I don't know, but it's relatively deep. She's really talking about how she views herself at her core, and this is all facilitated by Rogers and the reflecting that he's doing. I think a benefit of the reflecting that he's doing, him being so consistent in it, is that the client feels very heard. And then it makes it easier for the client to go into her experience, to go deeper, because she's not defending herself from Rogers. When people don't feel hurt, they feel like they have to defend themselves from you. And that's not happening here. Yeah. I do think there's one other thing that I would say about this clip so far, is I would not do this with a client who wasn't as on board as she is. Like, she is on the one hand saying to Rogers, I know that you're not going to tell me what to do and I have to do it on my own, but I would like your help. What that means, though, is that when he asks her, what would you like me to say to you? She's willing to play ball because she's accepted the underlying idea that ultimately this is hers and he's not going to give her the answer. I think sometimes we try those sorts of questions with clients. We say, well, what do you wish I would say? Or in a perfect world, what would happen? But they haven't accepted the idea that we're not going to give them the answer yet. And if they haven't accepted that idea, that sort of question that we offer clients really feels sort of patronizing, I think. It feels like we're sort of avoiding and trying to get out of answering the question. So I think there's also a sequence here that's happening that is really important to pay attention to. Look, my name is Dr. Jordan Harris. If you enjoy this sort of breakdowns and you find it helpful in understanding how you can help your clients to go deeper and how to help them be more motivated for their own change, feel free to go to jordanthecounselor.com/subscribe, sign up for my newsletter, and I'll send out these sort of videos regularly. So see you then.